No edits, no filter. February 4th, take one.
Excellent. That's how we start this thing.
I love it.
John, what do we do on No Edits?
We talk about autism, sports, movies, and political matters.
Political matters. Can you say music too? Do you like talking about music?
I said music and political matters.
There you go. I like that. Excellent. Thank you, John. Riley, you want to? I mean, you brought two old friends back together. This is all your fault today. Do you want to introduce our guest?
Kind of doesn't help that he, myself, and my housemate all go to Christ Pres together.
That's right. We're all at the same church. Yep.
I love it. I love it. So this was your idea, dude. We're sitting here. Tell us a little bit about.
Most of the guests that I brought on have been my idea, like Ronnie and Brian Rivers. But today we're blessed to have Danny Rader on. Tom.
Thank you for introducing Danny Rader. We're really glad you're here, Danny Rader.
I'm thrilled to be here.
Y'all say hey to Danny. Go ahead and say your name. Tell us where you're from and introduce yourself.
Well, I've probably been talked about on this show before. I'll go ahead and give an introduction about myself. So I'm Boyd Rollins. I'm Riley's housemate, and yes, I do go to church at Christ Presbyterian with Danny, along with Riley. A little bit about me. Born and raised here in Nashville, went to college at Lipscomb University. That's where I met Riley, and been out for 2.5 years now, working with my family that happens to own its own manufacturing company here in Nashville. So they've got me there now, and so kind of in a similar boat with Riley here, being hired on to a company through family or friend kind of thing. So.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Good to be here.
Mr. Aswell.
I'm Brad Bramlett, but stage name is Brad Aswell, Mr. Aswell.
And where are you from?
Thompson Station, but excuse me. I'm from Thompson Station, but right now I'm currently residing in Nashville. So yeah, all there is to it.
Person worried about my stomach, tell us who you are.
Mr. Worried about the stomach, yes. My name is Rita. I am an illustrator here at the Avenue, originally from Pennsylvania, but now living here in Tennessee.
My name is John. I'm totally from Florida, but we moved up here, and I'm an artist here, and I brought my baby pictures here like last week and all of that.
We've been working on a documentary for John.
What did one of my baby pictures here and all of that. So I usually come in. I'm an artist. Sometimes I have work when I have work and all that. Well,
how long have you been hanging out with us, John?
It's March 2018.
2018, dude. You're almost as old as Leo. That's crazy. I'm kidding. That's awesome, dude. We're glad you're here.
Well, I've been here 4 years. 5 years, whatever you call it.
It's going by so fast, isn't it? Too fast.
My name's Pari Hieronymus, and I'm originally from California, but I've been living here in Tennessee. Just got my Tennessee driver's license, so I feel like a true Tennessean now.
Official. 29 and 364-day-old person.
I'm Leo. I was born in Pennsylvania.
Riley, I'm going to pull an old one here, Tom, and I think you know where I'm going with this. Originally from Raleigh, North Carolina, and I'm going to pull a Dustin here and say currently residing in Nashville. I'm Dustin, originally from Atlanta, but I currently reside here in Nashville as well.
There you go. You've met the crew, Danny. We wanted to introduce him to you. We hadn't done that in a while. We thought we'd do that. Y'all, this is Danny Rader. Danny is one of the most talented humans I've ever met on the planet, one of the nicest guys on the planet. We had babies 3 days apart here in Nashville. We've written some songs together. We're growing older together. We've been friends probably before we were writers. We met in Florida. He comes from an amazingly talented family, and we're glad to have him here today. Danny has done a great job of coming here and building an amazing career, and we're going to talk a little bit about our friendship and a little bit about music and a little bit about family. Keep me down to probably 20 minutes now, or 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Riley, kind of kick me or something when that happens. But Danny, we're glad you're here. Welcome to No Edits, No Filter.
I'm so thrilled to be here. This is going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. Where did we first meet? Was it the Bay County?
I think was it at the Opry?
At the Opry?
It
Maybe
was
at the Ocean Opry.
It was at the Ocean Opry, our family's
Tell us
Opry.
what the Ocean Opry
In Panama City, Florida, my family, throughout my entire childhood, owned and operated like 200 shows a year with our family in there. It was about a 1,000-seat theater. We just did a lot of like old country music, new country music, gospel music, old school rock and roll. Really a lot of fun, cool way to grow up. My dad ran a recording studio in there. We did, just all the time playing music with the family. And my grandpa, who started the business, also promoted shows with like Grand Ole Opry artists as well. So throughout the years, we had everyone from Johnny Cash, Randy Travis, Glenn Campbell, Jerry Reed, Kitty Wells, like just the list of artists that didn't come through there, country artists anyway, is a lot shorter than the ones that did come through there. Everybody came through there at some point. So it was such a cool way to grow up and get to have a front row seat to all those different artists coming through.
How old were you when they first threw a bucket hat on you and big cowboy hat and stuck you out on stage?
I mean, they started carrying us out when we were
babies,
a couple of weeks old. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so by the time there's video of it, I don't even have actual memories of it, but there's video of me when I was like 2 years old, sitting down on a drum kit and playing like 8 bars.
Dude, that's awesome.
I've been doing it longer than I was making active memories.
Wow, that's insane. Do you remember the first instrument you played?
The first instrument I played was drums.
It was drums. So your son's taking in that?
Yes, our 9-year-old is taking into that. He's been taking drum lessons for a couple of years now and getting pretty good at it.
So the Crazy Ocean Opry in Panama City Beach, Florida, which was your stage to the world of country music, right? I mean, it really was. That's taken you a lot of places. That start right there, we met, you were older, you and your brother Brent were playing, I think, in a Gann Brothers thing at the Bay County something, and Billy Dean and I were down there and all this stuff, and you ended up in Nashville.
We met you about the time that my wife Leah and I, who got married back home too, about the time we were planning on moving up here anyway, and so we met that connection with y'all and with Billy, and ended up playing on the road with Billy for a while.
That's right.
About a year, I guess, probably.
That's right.
And yeah, all of that just kind of led to all kinds of other new opportunities.
It didn't it blew up. We're sitting with the 3-time Instrumentalist of the Year from the Academy of Country Music. They're proud papa moments I get on TV when he's on, and text him, and he's backstage and he's kind enough to text back, and but really proud of what he's accomplished. I mean, you're 3-time ACM Instrumentalist of the Year.
I have no idea what the total number of is, but I do know that it's like 60 number ones at this point. Yeah.
You've played on 60 number ones.
Mm-hmm.
That is unbelievable. And you've toured the world.
Yep. Yeah, from Jason Aldean, Leanne Rimes, Gretchen Wilson, and most notably with Keith Urban.
With Keith, you cruised around.
10 years there.
10 years, and you cruised around the world with Keith, right?
Yep.
And now you're on to some new stuff. You're producing TV shows, the musical director, and doing things.
Yes, yeah, we're doing a lot of work with the Country Music Association on the CMA Awards, and there's a Christmas special every year there that I'm kind of helping head up all things music related on that stuff, and just signed a publishing deal, so I'm diving back into like more head first into songwriting again. Good. I know we kind of dabbled in it for a long time. Back when we first moved to town, we did a bunch of writing together. I still think about that all the time. But kind of diving in head first at this point.
Had that little place on Music Row on 16th, and we would sit down there, you and me and Ray, and you and me and Brent, your brother, and I remember writing a song with your brother called "Why Leave," and Brent and you guys were moving to Nashville. Like, you live on the beach in Panama City. Why leave here? And so we were, and yet it been a great journey for you, man. That's awesome. Tell me your favorite venue. I have a favorite venue on the planet, but where have you played that you walked out on stage and you went, holy crap, I'm playing here?
Red Rocks was amazing.
Yeah.
Red Rocks was amazing. That's a really special one.
Yeah, it is.
The Ryman Auditorium, of course, is unrivaled. And I can't remember exactly where it was, but there was one gig we did with Keith. It was a festival, actually a rock festival. Like the Rolling Stones played the night before us, and I think the Foo Fighters played the night after us. And somehow they booked Keith there that night. And you walk out on stage, and you literally can't see as far as the people go. It's like 90-something thousand people that particular night. And that was one that we, in the band, even still, when we catch up, we still talk about that gig.
Does it make you want to throw up on your shoes, or do you love it?
I love it.
What do you do? What is that feeling like? I mean, I want to grow up and be James Taylor, and I'm glad I wasn't. I've had a great life, But what is that feeling like to walk out to people you can't see the end of? What is that?
I think it's probably akin to like any athlete who gets the opportunity to be up in the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs and 2 runners on, and they're the winning. Like any athlete you talk to, they want that opportunity. They're not scared of it. They want that chance to be in it. And I think as a musician, that's kind of what you feel like as well. You're just like, the show can't start soon enough.
Well,
you just want to get out there.
Then go back. When did you, sitting in Panama City Beach with you can play anything with a string on it, when did you go, I want to be in an arena where I can't see the end of the people?
That's a good question. I don't know that I had any one moment with particularly regarded playing live and playing in front of people. Right. When I moved to town, honestly, my first love was making records and being a studio rat with headphones on and just making recordings. And so I never really had any desires or intentions of touring when I first moved to Nashville. Oh, really? No, I fully just wanted to get in the studio. But there's a lot of people that have that same dream that moved to Nashville, so it's a really tough room to get into. So I took some touring gigs just out of necessity to kind of keep the lights on and hopefully lead to something else. And along the way, every road gig I was on, I always kind of had one road gig, and then I would do sessions to supplement in that. And so while the session thing was kind of taking off for me, that one road gig that I had, I kept getting opportunities for cooler and cooler road gigs, and until I found myself like on the road with Keith, and it was like, well, I kind of had moments where I would kind of go, well, this is actually awesome. This is really fun too. I don't know that there was any one light bulb moment for me. It was just such a gradual thing where it was kind of initially out of necessity, but then I developed just as much of a love for that side of things as the recording.
How do you balance, you have 3 children, an amazing wife, great family life, you go to church here in town. I know Jesus is important to you in your life. He keeps you grounded. How do you do that though? How do you balance being the rock star on stage, can't see the end of the group of folks, and the humility of being a broken man walking the planet?
A lot of repentance and a lot of leaning into the forgiveness of those that are close to me. Yeah. No, it's a balancing act. It really is. And
hard?
Very difficult at times, yeah. Yeah, there's, especially when we had kids younger, there were times where it was just such a stark contrast from like, one moment you're playing on stage to 60,000 people or whatever it is, and then literally within hours, you're back at the house. A lot of times with Keith, we would fly home after the gigs with him on the plane. So we'd fly back and I'd be home and there'd be a sick baby that Leia, my wife, has been with all day, and so she hands him off to me, and so within the matter of hours, you've gone from like full-on rock star mode to like, I have vomit on my shoes, and I'm trying to keep this baby safe and cuddled and help them feel better,
So it's almost humbling.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, good point. So it's a balancing act, and you try to just be present where you are. I think that's one of the toughest things, and one of the best lessons I ever tried to learn is, not try to overly concern yourself with where you aren't at that moment, because you can't do anything about that or fix that. So just be present where you are and try to just, be genuine. And
you've gotten wise in these I haven't seen you in a while. You've gotten wise. That's awesome. Yeah. Any questions that you would like to ask Danny that come to mind? Riley, I know you probably have one or two.
What's been your favorite song to play, regardless of recording artist?
Okay, like to play on stage or play on a recording for?
Either, actually.
Either, okay.
Yeah, is there you pick your guitar up and you go to, and man, that's the one tune you can play the rest of your life. What would you play?
Oh, you know what? There's a song that I play just about every morning. It's one of my go-tos when I'm like sound checking my acoustic in the morning on recording sessions. It's a Rodney Crowell song called "Learning How to Fly." It's got a really cool acoustic intro on the front. It's good, like big, kind of a strum thing, just easing into the day kind of thing. Yeah. But I would also say that one of my most favorite songs to play live was always playing "Somebody Like You" with Keith on the road. That was a crowd would just go crazy. And
did you play electric on that, or were you on the crazy sitar?
I was on my double neck. So I've got a double neck guitar that has a banjo down here, and then it has an electric guitar up here. And so I would play the intro on the banjo, which is the signature lick, and then as the song got a little bigger on the choruses, I would flip up and play electric on those. So yeah.
That's awesome. Any other questions, guys? Any thoughts?
So what are all the different instruments that you play, And do you have a favorite out of all of those?
That's a good question. One of the ones that I really enjoy playing, let me start with, I play all kinds of guitar, acoustic guitar, electric guitar. There's a kind of a Greek style instrument called a bouzouki I play a lot. It's kind of like a halfway between a 12-string acoustic and a mandolin. I play mandolin, I play banjo, dobro. I do play a lot of keyboards and Hammond B3, accordion, bass and drums. It's probably about the extent of it.
But which is what the Ocean Opry prepared you for.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's what the roots of...
Yeah, because our family was always playing music, and that was kind of the language we spoke. So it wasn't weird or foreign at all to just see an instrument that you've never played before and just go, I wonder how I make some kind of noise on this, and you just like start finding your way. So most of what I play was pretty ear training based. I didn't take formal guitar lessons as a kid or anything. But I had people all around me that could teach me if I had any questions along the way.
So as a session player, I know this because I've produced a lot of records, right? And I'm not a good enough player to be a session player by any stretch. And so I remember even in writing sessions, we'd sit down and I'd pull my guitar out. I'm going to play with Danny. And then all of a sudden it's like my guitar ended and found its way back to its case really quickly. But when did you know in a town of the best guitar players on the planet that you were an instrumentalist of the year? When did you know that, because a producer will walk in and go, play this, whatever, and you have to be able to play that. Right. When did you know you had that ability to walk into a room and do what a producer needed you to do? Does that make sense?
Yeah, honestly, I still kind of hope I still have that ability every day I wake up. I feel like I'm still waiting to be found out every day I show up at a studio.
Probably keeps you hungry.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, there's been moments along the way where you get validation in ways that you didn't expect or didn't see coming. I remember one day in particular, I was on a session working on, I think it was Thomas Rhett was the artist, and Dan Huff was producing, and there was a question about how we should treat some transition or certain part in the song. And, I'm in a room with guys that are just legends. A lot of them I aspired to work with when I first moved to town, and I'm somehow in the room with them. And I remember Dan at one point kind of going, I don't know. And he looked straight at me. He's like, "What would you do? What would you want to do?" Wow. And I don't know if it was just him like opening up the room to give me an opportunity. It was, or if it was just like he valued the, something about what I was. But it was just like, well, I would probably do this and this and that. He was like, all right, let's do that. And I was like, wow, okay, So yeah, there's been various moments like that throughout along the way that kind of make you go, oh, okay, all right.
Who haven't you worked with yet that you go, I got my eyes on it?
Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you had a stint where you met McCartney. You played for McCartney in the room one day.
I did meet McCartney at the Grammys one year.
I remember
yeah,
that.
we were playing with the Grammys with Keith, and I ran into him in the hallway, and I probably came across like, you remember the Chris Farley sketch?
Oh yeah.
He's like, you remember when you said the love you it was awesome. That's probably how I came across.
When you're in the elevator with it, that's awesome. I love that. McCartney, play with McCartney. I just watched Get Back. I'll go, Leo. You got one.
So if you had to sing about the first Disney character who you found relatable, how would you handle it?
That's a great question. If I had to sing about the first Disney character I found relatable.
Was it Mickey Mouse?
Oh, that's good.
Was it Mickey Mouse? That is a great question. Probably identify more with Goofy than Mickey, I think. Probably Goofy. Yeah, probably Goofy. Because I'm a little goofy at times.
How would Goofy sound? Can you play Goofy? No, I'm just kidding. Any other thoughts or questions real quick?
What about Donald Duck?
Donald Duck? I like Donald Duck.
Donald had... I can do a little Donald Duck. Now, watch out now.
He's got a little temper.
That's my go-to. Yeah, Donald can be a little spicy. Pari?
Are your little Rader family, are they instrumentalists themselves?
That's a good question. Our 9-year-old plays drums right now, and he asked me like 3 weeks ago to start learning guitar. So we sat down a little bit, and I've been showing him a few things. And but so far, they're the only two that have really taken to it. Well, I take that back. Our 12-year-old started playing trumpet in band this year. So he's actually learning an instrument that I can't help him with.
How's all the Rader family?
They're great. They're good. Still keep in touch with everybody, and we try to get down to Panama City as much as we can.
Down there, good?
Yep. Yeah, my parents live in Mount Juliet up here now, so they're close, and all my siblings are back up here, and
Wanted to come through for a
Bunch
while.
of cousins will come through and visit every now and then, and
A passel of Raiders, man. I'm telling you, there is a passel of Raiders. Any questions?
You work with like a lot of famous artists. Who would you say is one of your favorite artists to work with?
That's a great question. One of my favorites to do recordings with is Kenny Chesney. He is so focused and just focused on the work and always super professional and kind and awesome, and yeah, I'm a big fan.
Any staying in country? That's your deal? Would you stay in country forever and ever? It's been your roots, it's love. I mean, I know country music has changed, but
I do some things outside of country, but I think
it's just your thing.
I feel like I'm uniquely gifted at it. I understand. Being that I grew up on such old school country music, I think a lot of people kind of tend to gravitate to however that manifests itself in my playing.
Yeah.
I think that is just something that is the most genuine coming out of me.
I gotta say, there's something.
And I have no desire to be out of country. I love country music, you know. Yeah,
Absolutely. Good to you.
yeah.
I love your voice, man. We wrote a few songs together and you demoed them, and I made a CD of a bunch of stuff I'd written, and you're on that. And there are a couple tunes. I won't pull those. I won't make you pull those out. But is there a verse chorus you got in you of something that you would play us today that you would sing for us? I love your voice though. Strings has made you your talented thing, but is there a song that you go, man, you know, like, I don't know what it would be, just verse chorus of something. Give us a little in the round something.
That's a good question. What we do?
What do you say? We don't have to know it. It can be one. It can be a tune that maybe you wrote or something that you just go, yeah, it's a Bluebird moment here.
Okay.
Is that a fair request?
I think so. I'm just thinking. One thing about me, I am so bad with lyrics.
Or is there a lick that we would go, oh, we've heard that and you played that? Either one or both.
Oh yeah. Well.
Do you know the song already?
American Kids.
Yeah, I played acoustic guitar and banjo on that recording.
On the recording? Yeah. What is the give us your Dan Huff moment when somebody said, hey, do this, and we've heard these stories. Everybody has thousands of stories of these. Of the instrumentalist comes up with a lick which really sells the song, right? Right. And in a lot of ways, that's one right there. Maybe you didn't come up, maybe you didn't or did come up with that, but
that lick was more. That lick, it's in itself. If I remember correctly, it happened kind of in the solo section of the song.
Oh, cool.
It was like a background vocal part, so it wasn't necessarily instruments playing it. And when I got to, we were listening down to the song, and I heard it, and I was like, oh, we need to play that in the intro. That's the. And so I kind of just played it when we were going down on the banjo, and it, you know, kind of worked out, sounded hooky.
And that's the magical moment of making music together with guys, not doing machines. And
I think it is, yeah, when you're all there at the same time and coming up with different ways to, you know, play off of each other and respond to what somebody else is doing. And
yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You think of a verse chorus while we're killing time right here or not? Give us, that doesn't have to be a full one, just give us something that's, if somebody pulled you up on the Bluebird stage, what would you?
Here's a little something. You probably know this. I wrote this a little while back. Heard your name just the other day. My mind went back in time. Wonder if you're back in Monterey, soaking up that Cali sunshine. We were a flame that burned too hot. I couldn't stand the fire. I didn't know what I wanted, but I got just what I desired. Now it's messing with my head, wondering where you've been. Stare at every door, hoping you walk in. Living in regret since the day I left. If I'm honest, I must admit it. The thing that keeps me up at night. Why the hell did you let me say goodbye?
Very nice. The songwriting thing's going to catch on for you one of these days. I like that. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. Very cool. You're in a place where creativity, John had a great saying one day. He said, y'all aren't ready for my creativity.
I love that. I saw that on the wall out there. That's great.
When people tell me I'm not ready for their creativity, I expect them to revolutionize something.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome. So creativity can revolutionize things. I was getting ready to ask Danny what creativity kind of means, if there's any advice to following that creativity piece.
It always requires autistic genes.
Do you think it does? We were talking about that's what Asperger says, right? And I think there's some truth to that.
Yes. And Temple Grandin also says so.
And we found that to be true here, Danny. We have a lot of guys with autism and girls with autism and people that come through here that find the creative space to be able to create. John, what would you say?
That's something I accidentally said one day. Well, like Matt Stormer, he accidentally said Mouseford. I actually said right for my creativity. It turned out to be a hit. It turned out to be something big at OTA.
It did, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a great saying, and I think the world isn't ready for some people's creativity because they haven't asked, and I think that's the big thing.
Dieter's the one that decided to make music out of it.
And tell Danny what your new, you have a new pseudonym, don't you? You have a new name, a new stage name.
Juan Angelo.
Juan Angelo.
Nice.
Johnny Angel. He's Juan Angelo, and he's got a little rap song out. Y'all ain't ready for my creativity. And
That's coming out.
it's coming out.
I got a shirt.
Got a t-shirts made of it.
Do you want one?
Yes. I would love one. Yes.
We'd have to get, well, Danny's, I remember that about Danny. You were a big t-shirt guy.
Oh, yeah.
Like he would tour and like go to Goodwill and places and find t-shirts. And John, we'll get him a Juan Angelo shirt. That's a great idea. Dude, I can't tell you how much fun this has been. We could sit here for literally hours and do this to catch up. I really appreciate you taking your Friday and coming and visiting with us.
Thank you guys for sharing all your creativity with me.
Speaking of creative things, we have a way we kind of end this deal, and don't have to do anything. It's not. Don't be scared. But John has a way he likes to end our.
I was wondering.
He's got 3 words for you.
All right.
I was just think. Well,
anything before we close? Brad, you got something before we close?
For some of the stuff talk about music, we're even I think we're starting to learn music of our own eventually. Cause Dieter at one point, who's actually not here today, disembodied voice Dieter, of course.
May he rest in peace.
He's not gone. Hold on, he's not through.
Eventually, we're actually gonna learn music tracks of our own. Eventually.
That's exactly right.
Instead of downloading stock stuff from the computer or something.
Create our own music, right?
Yeah, like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that could be a good learning experience.
I love that. That's a great idea. We literally are just using the creative services world to build confidence in community, and amazing artistic things come out of it, dude.
That's so good.
It's really cool. Now, how do we close this thing out so we can get on about our days?
big ass taco.
Big ass tacos. That's how we close it out. Y'all, thanks, dude. Awesome. Thank you. How fun.